Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donley Auctions Hour.
Well, welcome back. This is Mike and Randy Donley here from Donley Auctions out in Union, Illinois. Back for another hour of fun and frivolity here of talking about
antiques and stories.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mike. Hey.
Yes, I am back. Thank you, Susan, for filling in last weekend. I happened to be on a pickup on the south side of Chicago. Out on
Tell us about that, Mike. I mean, you went to the south side, and which is always fun, but you got some goodies. I mean, a whole truck full. You came back with a 26-footer packed
with steam engines and gas engines and gas pumps and just some great Petroliana signs and just unbelievable stuff. Some of it will be going in our August auction, but a lot of it we're holding for a special auction that we have coming up. We'll be talking about more of the other stuff. But, yeah, the pickup went well. Our crew broke their backs as usual for us. And
oh, my gosh, yeah. Well,
heavy iron.
Big, heavy antiques. That's what we end up doing against Susan's wishes. She's always yelling, no more heavy stuff. But here we have it, and it's perfect for man cave. So if you're looking to buy, I mean, our August auction is really we got incredible.
We got some cool stuff in there. We'll be talking about a little bit.
Is that where you're putting the gas pumps?
The gas pumps will go in August, yeah. And
speaking of which, so we keep pushing this. So if you do have more, there is still a little time to get into this auction.
The window is closing very quickly because it is on the 17th and 18th. So yeah, we don't have a lot of time. So we want to get the stuff photographed up online for you to give it as much exposure as we can to the world. Because we do ship all over the world when we sell stuff. I mean, it's not just here in the United States. And the auction's already up. You can go to DonleyAuctions.com to see the auction for 17th and 18th.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the shipping all over the world because a guy just brought in a Harley. I don't even know what year it was or anything, but he just dropped off a Harley, and already we're getting questions about how we can arrange shipping overseas.
Yeah. Yep. We ship a lot. We ship a lot of stuff overseas. A lot of cars go overseas. The United States, of course, is number one for us, but Australia is number two. To who do we ship to? And then Korea and I think China.
UK is always in
UK there. Is a big one too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest thing we ever shipped overseas was, remember that trailer you bought, that car hauler that had been in a fire?
Oh my goodness!
With 2 57 Chevys on it that had been burned up.
Yeah, it was a big. Car hauler, tows like 9 cars, one of these.
But it was a vintage
caissons.
One from the 50s.
From the 50s, right. And it had actually been in a fire, but there were 2 57 Chevys on it at the time of the fire that were totally restored.
Yeah.
And not now. But at any rate, somebody shipped that entire big, heavy truck and trailer and cars overseas. I just can't imagine what that must have cost.
It went up to like Norway or the Netherlands or somewhere like that. I remember that.
It was the ultimate yard art, Mike.
Oh, my God. Remember when we had it in the parking lot? Everyone was pulling off the road, taking pictures of it.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. But we've had some pretty cool stuff parked in front of our place. Yeah. Remember, what was that truck that they used to use at the Dells? What were those called?
One of the Ducks. We had one of the Ducks. It wasn't from the Dells, but it was an original landing craft, yeah.
And it was still in original Army paint. It was World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people like to stop and have their picture taken with that, but always need stuff out in front. So tell me a little more about this big lead in Chicago, because this is going to be a work in progress. You're going to continue to go back there because the gentleman had so much.
Yeah, it's going to take about a year to clean this place out. I mean, there's 2 floors of stuff there. It's unbelievable. It was his grandfather who started collecting back in the 1930s. So there is some great stuff there.
Yeah. Well, I thought the toy collection was pretty interesting when we were there.
Yeah, those are up on the second floor. There's lots of toy trucks, Tonkas, and a lot of the good steel trucks.
And I think there's a lot of mint in box or new in box, NIB they call it, NIB or MIB, mint in box or new in box.
In fact, I brought back a couple of the Texaco fire trucks. There's put them in the Petroliana auction. They're in the box, brand new.
Well, now, what was that big giant tractor in a glass cabinet? Looked like
it's an International Harvester tractor display. It's a full-size front-end loader. I think it must have been used in either in a dealership or at a convention or something like that. It's like a working model of a front-end loader in a case. It's
that
beautiful.
is an incredible piece. Now, let me ask you that. Is that in August or is that being saved for November?
I believe that's going to go for November.
November, okay.
We got to research that, and that's a pretty special piece.
So, once again, when we talk about these different auctions, I mean, we've always been known for our what we refer to as the classics, which is April and November, where we put the best of the best items that we get from you folks in those particular auctions. And but we've been getting so much stuff in that we added a summer classic, which is coming up in August. What's the date on that?
The 17th and 18th.
Okay. So that's around the corner. But it is online right now, so you can go to DonleyAuctions.com. And, all you have to do is go to our website, and that will take you right to our upcoming auctions. So is the coin auction online yet?
I believe the coin auction just went up this week, so that's online already, yeah. And a lot of great coins in there, a lot of currency in this one, gold coins in there, so it runs the gamut. Ryan put together a really, really nice comprehensive auction. And,
people have said to me, well, gee, we hear a lot of ads and we see a lot of signs all over for silver and gold and everything wanted and all that. And they said, why should we be selling this at auction? And I said, well, frankly, because, numistically, very often your coins are worth more than scrap. That's one very important thing. And, just like anything, the whole purpose of an auction is competitive bidding. Mm-hmm. You never know what an item is worth until people are bidding on it. It's just an amazing operation and a way to go because, again, otherwise – you're guessing. You're playing the best guessing game. So, but Mike, this week has just been crazy busy with all kinds of good stuff coming in.
Yeah, I mean, it's all it's absolutely crazy. I mean, I think my favorite thing so far this last week was the Civil War collection. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's museum quality. This gentleman collected the best of the best.
Well, yeah, Civil War, folks, is always, items that we're looking for. And we're continuing to look for Civil War. We'll talk about this collection in a minute. But just as a reminder, if you do have Civil War memorabilia, one time I was talking to a gentleman, and he said, you know what, I almost didn't call you. I only had this pair of shoulder boards. And he said, it's just not enough to call you with. Well, actually, it is. One item or an entire collection. You don't have to have a collection of items. And the interesting thing about this gentleman with his shoulder boards is he had a provenance. He actually had a photo of his relative in uniform, and the shoulder boards are on the uniform.
There you go.
I mean, there you go. There's the provenance. All of a sudden, the shoulder boards are worth probably 5 times what they would have been without the name and the photograph and everything else. So, again, we're pushing provenance also. But let's get back to this the Civil War collection a little bit more.
Yeah, it was a collector who spent, many years collecting, and he was a target collector, meaning he bought the best of the best. He just wasn't buying quantities of things. He was buying specific things, uniforms. And when you buy a uniform, it had the provenance, and a lot of times it has the photograph of the person who wore it. I mean, there's a Confederate battle flag in there. I mean, with a provenance of all the battles.
Well, actually, there's several Confederate flags in this collection.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's a Confederate uniform, and there's a lot of uniforms, including a Confederate uniform, Confederate kepis. I mean, things that. You go to the big shows, the Civil War shows, and you don't see the quality of this because it's all been collected up or in museums. So this is a big turnover where one of the huge, important collections in the country is coming back onto the market. And we have not set a date for that yet. But
well, there's going to be a lot of cataloging in this process, and there's a full-color catalog that we'll print for this.
Yeah, but it is going to be a major auction coming up. And we'll be talking more about that in the coming weeks and everything.
And especially even in the next segment, right?
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about here. So, one other thing we're looking for real quick is cannons. So,
well, we bring that up every week. Come on, folks, call us with your cannons. We can never say that enough.
Yeah, we need the cannon for the Civil War auction. Whether it be a new-made cannon, because a lot of reenactors use them, or an original one.
Or a mortar.
Or a mortar, yeah. So anyway, we'll be back in just a minute. We have to take a quick break, and you're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour here on AM 560, The Answer. See you on the other side.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back. It's Mike and Randy Donley from Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. We're located just 45 minutes northwest of O'Hare Airport, just off I-90. Always looking for new items to add to our auctions. You can go to our website at donleyauctions.com and see all the different things we're looking for. Right now we are talking about Civil War items that we from a collection we picked up last week. And, one of the things I want to touch on, we had just been alerted to, and we'll be getting more information, but unfortunately these type of things happen once in a while. We've been alerted to the fact that a pair of Lincoln's suspenders were taken from a collector's home. And we'll have more information coming on that, but they're called Lincoln's Petite Point suspenders. They were originally worn by Lincoln. They were sold at Heritage Auction back in 2008. And they've been in the man's collection ever since, and they were just recently have disappeared.
And the purpose of this bringing up is first to alert two things. Alert collectors so that nobody's buying these thinking that,
Right. I mean, they're going to turn up sooner or later, and they're going to walk into an antique store or they're going to walk into another auction house. They may even come to us. Who knows? But we want to make everybody aware that there's not a lot of these things floating around out there. So if somebody comes in with a pair of suspenders, and they have a little floral design. You could go up online and look at them just from a past auction, look at Lincoln's Petite Point suspenders.
Right, and they're valuable, and we need to get them returned to the owner. So we're looking for your help if you know of where these suspenders, they're Lincoln's suspenders, and we need to get them returned as soon as possible, really, before they fall into somebody's hands that doesn't know that they've been stolen.
Right. If you purchase these and they turn up again, then you're going to lose out because if you've paid for them, they're stolen property. So
right. So there's that, and we will talk about more about that later in future shows.
Yeah.
But once again, this collection, we're still looking for more. And, Mike, I wanted to point out something that you had said, that this collection has been collected up and is available now. Really the purpose of this show has two major functions here, and that is first to help people, sell and liquidate what they have, but also for buyers, we're alerting them to our auctions. So this show is for you to be either a buyer or seller. We can help you in either way. And what's important to know is that there are collections coming on the market right now that have been collected up 20, 30, 40 years, never available for sale. And once they come back on the market, you have to buy it now. You have to grab it.
Brief time, yeah.
Because once it gets collected up, it goes where? Back into
another collection.
The collection or a man cave, and gone for the next 20, 30 years. So when you see these things pop up at auction, you have to act fast.
Yeah.
You have to make some decisions because, again, they'll be gone again.
Because so many of these things are one of a kind or just such high quality that
Yeah. So there's little windows in time where you're able to acquire some of this stuff, and now is it. So.
And what else did we do this week? Oh, we went to Indiana with our crew to pick up one-cylinder gas engines.
Big, heavy stuff again.
What was there, 120 of them or something like that?
Oh, yeah. The old hit-and-miss gas engines used to be very popular on farms.
Mm-hmm. They provided power.
Kind of the universal farm equipment back in the day.
Yeah, most of them were 1.5 horse to 3 horse, and they used them to power pumps and little threshing machines, and like you said, it was a power supply, a portable power supply for them on farms.
And didn't I see a big 5-horse?
Yeah, there's a huge one in there too. 5-horse,
my God!
Which was way bigger than any farmer needed.
The time of their life sliding that onto the truck.
They worked their butts off this week.
Yeah, and. In this auction, in our August auction, we do have a big steam engine that had been previously in one of our other auctions, and it didn't quite make the sale, so it's being returned, into this auction. So even though our steam engine and gas engine auction is coming up in the future, there will be some of these engines in the August auction.
Mm-hmm. And they're online now, so you can go look at them at DonleyAuctions.com.
Hey, I want to mention our phone number, too. In the whole last segment, we never said our phone number once. 815-923-7000. Call us, because Mike and I are eagerly waiting. We love going out on these leads. It's what we do.
Yep, that's what we live for, helping you out, either buying or selling.
And we will buy also. That's one thing. If, everybody does not want to auction, and sometimes they say, well, we didn't call you. We sold our collection. We didn't call you because we know you auction them. Well, we tell you all the time, we'll buy your collection. We encourage you to auction because all we're going to do is auction it off and make more money. But some people say, no, I want a bird in the hand, and what'll you give us for it? So we will buy also, so you know.
Yeah, and we also do private placements of collections too. So if you're looking for something specific, and you can call us and say, hey, I'm looking for this type of thing or that type of thing, because we have a lot of contacts out there, and there's a lot of people who won't buy at auction. They'll spend big money for things when they want it, and we run across a lot of collections where the people would rather just place their collection privately and sell it all as one collection. And
that happens, quite a bit, actually.
I mean, we deal with people whose man caves are just
stunning,
beyond belief. I mean, we've seen people who have full drive-in movie theaters, building with a full drive-in movie theater with the cars. Their car collection is the cars you would see in a drive-in movie. And so their friends can come over and watch big movies on the screens.
All inside a single man cave. It's just crazy.
We've seen people that have complete city blocks set up inside big warehouses and such, where all the stores are full of stuff. So it's fun to see some of these collections that are just absolutely beyond belief. So,
and if you have one you want to show off to Mike or I, give us a call.
Yeah, we'll be happy to come over and talk with you.
815-923-7000 is how you can reach us.
Mm-hmm. And so what else we got coming up here? That
more auctions always. I mean, we do have the coin auction. We started to talk about that a little bit. Ryan is eagerly waiting your calls for more coins, gold, silver, and currency.
Mm-hmm. Currency brings crazy money sometimes.
We've actually got quite a bit of currency in the coin auction coming up.
Things like people would even guess $1,000 bill, which they're still in circulation, but you don't find them out in circulation now. But
they're out there, yeah.
They've been collected up. But $1,000 bill will bring, depending on the condition, up to $2,000.
$2,000 and more sometimes, depending on which
series,
yeah. Mm-hmm. And condition is everything.
Yeah, older currency that says payable in gold on demand, that's always good. Early banknotes, but like I said, condition is everything. I mean, if the bills are worn, where they're just hold them up and they're just limp, and the writing is,
There's the description for you, limp.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the good crisp currency is what brings money. So in any field.
So, Mike, you were saying earlier, on the break, hey, what do we need to be asking for? Well, one thing that surprises me, we've been asking for, and we haven't been getting a lot of phone calls on, are samurai swords.
Right. Yep. Samurai swords and we proved that in our last auction.
Oh, we get such good money for your samurai swords, but Japanese World War II. Samurai swords just bring stunning amounts of money.
And that's mainly when they were brought back. The swords themselves will date to the 14th and 15th and 16th centuries. But that's when they were brought back from the World War II.
Right, because Japanese soldiers were carrying them as family treasures,
handed down
to
the samurai, yeah.
And, of course, our GIs were able to capture them and bring them home as souvenirs, legally, of course. That was a thing to do. So, we're looking for samurai swords for our upcoming military auction, and we're going to talk about our military auction in our next segment.
Okay. Once again, you are listening to the Donley Auctions Hour here on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Mike with my brother Randy, and we'll be back right after the break.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560 The Answer.
Welcome back with Mike and Randy Donley from Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. We are talking about some of our upcoming auctions and things we're looking for that we can help you liquidate or help you add to your collection.
Well, yeah, I had just mentioning the samurai swords, for our upcoming military auction. We can never stress enough about how much we're always looking for the next auction. We have another gun and military auction coming up in September. So we do 4 of these a year. And the September auction, we're looking for, of course, anything in war souvenirs. We need uniforms. We need medals, helmets, insignia, especially helmets. German, Japanese, American, you name it. We're looking for it. And the firearms, too. We're always, looking for the next collection. So if you have or know of a collection out there, whether it's, again, just one item or 400, we can help you. And we are federally, we have an FFL, Federal Firearms License, and we'll do everything legally for you. No need to worry about, well, gee, how do I get rid of these? I want to make sure I'm complying with the law. Call us, and you will have been complying with the law because you'll be doing it 100% correctly, and we can walk you through the steps.
And you'll be getting the most money you can out of them because so many times we hear it all the time, oh, my husband's friends came and bought all the guns. Well,
Well, yeah, and we certainly don't want to say that every husband's friend is a scoundrel.
No.
But there are we've known a few instances where it was really sad that people came in and gave the widow Smith very little for what she had.
Pennies on the dollars for what she could have.
Yeah, well, come on, guys.
And the sad thing is the husband's never. It was his hobby. He would never tell his wife, or maybe she didn't care, what he was spending on these things. And then he passes on, and it's her task to get rid of them, not realizing the amount of money that is laying there. And that's money she is due and money, that belongs to her.
Yeah.
So we want to get you every penny we can for your collectibles and collections. So
that we do. Again, in the August auction coming up, we also have, some nice popcorn machines. And I like that ice cream cart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the pedal ice cream cart. I mean, if you're old enough to remember in the the city of Chicago, when you'd hear the guy coming down the street, the bells ringing, and it was a guy just riding like a bicycle with
like
a freezer.
Like a three-wheel bicycle,
with a freezer on the front of it. And, boy, remember as kids, we'd come running over there.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And he'd stop, and it was usually a teenager that was doing that. That was a good summer job to have.
But this piece that came in is totally restored. Uh-huh. Oh, it's just so neat. And like you say, it just brings back memories of the summer.
Yeah.
You know?
Remember looking inside, you'd open it up and it'd be like the smoke from the dry ice that kept it cool would come out of there. I can just see it right now.
Yeah.
Popsicles, 7 cents I think the popsicles were.
Yeah, you've got to come and see all the fun stuff at the auction.
Yeah.
That's coming up in August.
Yeah, the 17th and 18th with a preview on Friday. It'll be Friday the 16th.
Yeah, so all day on Friday you can come and snoop and look. A lot of people always want to come to our facility to see what's going on. That's a great time to come. But another thing, not only do we have motorcycles in August, but we're still looking for more, again, for our upcoming, and especially Harleys and Indians, from the 60s, 50s, 40s, or earlier. The prices of motorcycles is just staggering. Mm-hmm. And unrestored, barn find stuff can be just very valuable.
Sometimes more than the originals, because that's how they want them, to hang them on the wall as a survivor art.
Survivors. That's a key word, Mike. People love survivors that aren't necessarily restored. They're just old and original and just fun to look at with the original patina on it.
And parts. I mean, any parts for motorcycles and such, too. There's guys that are restoring them that need these original parts, too.
Hey, speaking of survivors, how many cars do you have in the August auction? There's,
I think there's
25 barn finds.
Yeah, and some, Trevor just cleaned up a lot of them, and it is amazing how well some of those cleaned up. I mean, they came in looking like
rats. Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable! And he took time. He cleaned them and cleaned the chrome and vacuumed out the insides and everything. And I was shocked. I went out to the parking lot and looked at them, and they are some gorgeous.
But again, what's neat about them is the original paint jobs and everything. One thing you can't do is unrestore a car.
Right.
Once it's restored, I mean, that's great. I mean, a lot of people want restored cars, but you can't create the old look. You can't take it back. So once that look is gone, it's, again, gone forever. So here's your chance. You can buy them old and original in August. A really nice selection. You've got to go to our website.
Yeah, DonleyAuctions.com. They're up there already. Look for the August 17th and 18th auction, and you can just click on that and scroll through and see all what we have for sale there. Mm-hmm. It's all up there now.
Or give us a call at 815-923-7000.
And you're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. We'll be back in just 30 seconds here, 60 seconds after the break.
60 seconds, yeah.
After the break, to be talking about more stuff that we're looking for and what we can help you out with.
And now, more of the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour with Mike and Randy Donley here. We operate Donley Auctions up in Union, Illinois, just 45 minutes northwest of O'Hare Airport. And we're talking about our upcoming summer classic, August 17th and 18th. Randy, one of the things I was looking through there and I saw, and it just stopped me in my tracks, was what's called a Behringer. You want to explain what Behringers are?
I sure do. And because we have talked about this. Actually, Susan did a segment on this. I don't know, months and months ago, and that is Behringer Motion Advertising. Behringer Studios was in California back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and what they did is they actually honed in on the jewelry business. Jewelry stores, they always needed marketing and advertising like any business does. So the Behringer Company started making mechanical, I guess electronic. So
electromechanical.
But motion displays for jewelry stores to put in their windows. And what they did, they never sold these items. So you couldn't buy a Behringer, motion device from Behringer. You would lease it from them. They would send it to you, and after you used it for a month or so, you'd send it back, and they'd send you a different display, and they kept rotating displays. And they all had interesting themes, always around jewelry. For example, we have a Behringer in this auction, in the August auction, that is probably 2 foot square, 2 foot tall, 2 foot across, and it's a large wristwatch, but as if the wristwatch was open, showing all the gears, all the motion of the gears, and there's 3 or 4 little movable mice that are actually making it look like they are the ones making this device work. It's just as cute as can be.
Oh, yeah.
And this Behringer that we have is in really perfect shape. I mean, it's just not only looks-wise, it runs, it works, and everything. So as far as collecting advertising, Behringer items are right up there at the absolute top of the game.
Yeah, and they have many themes. If you went up online and looked up Behringers, you'll see the different themes. Space theme,
Wild West, even Egyptian. I mean,
wedding themes was a popular one for diamonds, selling diamonds and such.
Yeah,
so.
but they'll always somehow the theme always fits into the jewelry business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there weren't thousands. Well, maybe there were thousands of them, but there was only about 300 different themes that were rotating around.
I think there's less than that. There's like 250 or something. Yeah.
And so after the company went out of business, wherever the displays ended up on location, many times they were just abandoned and such. I mean, there were some that were sold out of the company. So these do turn up on jewelry stores and such, yet in the basements and stuff. So if you see them, call us because they are worth thousands of
dollars.
Yes.
For Behringers, absolutely. And as Mike said, they still turn up. We're trying to just tip you off that these are out there, and you might have one. Maybe Dad brought one home at some point in time, had it around for a while. It's now in the attic, garage, or somewhere around the house. But again, it's not something you want to slip through your fingers at a garage sale for $100.
No, and when you see them in the cases, they're a little like a red box. They're
like a red box, that they were shipped in, shipping containers. And those are valuable.
Yeah.
Just the boxes. Don't get rid of the box. If you have a Behringer box, they bring money too.
Yep.
So that leads us into advertising in general. I mean, advertising items are in abundance in this August auction.
Correct.
But we're looking for more.
We're looking for more. In fact, some guy just sent the other day. Lillian brought me the note that we always get the photos and the leads that come in. He had a Coca-Cola sign from a building, the side of a building, with a bullet hole in it from the south side of Chicago.
Oh, there you go. South side.
Is this something you'd be interested in? And you want to know? Absolutely, because the bullet hole is actually going to make it even cooler.
Well, especially knowing where it came from, the building it came off of and everything. What are we talking about, folks? The provenance helps sell the item. So what else? Oh, that big theater chandelier that we have in the auction.
Yep.
Again, the bigger the better sometimes for us, but you've got to have a place for this. So in order to buy this from us, you really have to have the ultimate man cave, because
you need a ceiling that's
about 30 feet tall, huh? Yeah. We've got a chandelier that came out of the Rockney Theater, Mike, in Indiana.
Correct.
Big, giant bronze and crystal chandelier. So if you have anything like that, again, nothing's too big for us. We're always looking for more. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So something else I wanted to point out, and we've got, we're running short on this segment, so we'll start it here, take it into the next segment, and that is we just picked up, or actually they're picking up today. The guys are out there today picking up an amusement park train.
Correct.
So that's going to be in the August auction, a train out of an amusement park, and that leads us into what all we've still got available at the Wild West Town for sale. All of the rides and attractions and everything. So stay tuned. We'll be talking about items that are available from the Wild West town in our next segment.
And you're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on AM 560. We will be right back after the break.
The Donley Auctions Hour continues now on AM 560. The Answer.
Welcome back for a final segment here on the Donley Auctions Hours with Mike and Randy Donley. We operate Donley Auctions up in Union, Illinois, and we're always looking for new items to sell for you.
And, for 50 years, we had the Wild West town in Union, Illinois, and so many of you have called us and written us and everything, and I want to thank you for all the kind remarks about the last 50 years of the Wild West town. I know you keep saying, please reopen it and everything, but we're actually expanding the auctions right now. But the Wild West town property, as Shauna has told you many times, is available. We actually have the police right now using it as a tactical training center. Mm-hmm. And so there's different uses that you could have for the Wild West town. But to that point, we just mentioned that we have an amusement park train in the August auction, which led me to say, Mike, what other rides do we have that we're going to be selling at the Wild West town?
Well, probably the biggest attraction that we have there that is up for sale right now is our train. Our C.P. Huntington train, which is actually historic in itself because it was the first train used at the Brookfield Zoo back in the 1950s. And It was probably you and I rode it as kids over there.
I don't doubt it. Yeah. The first train was the C.P. Huntington. They had two of them. We have one of them at the Wild West town. And so we've got pictures of it at the Brookfield Zoo. We've got pictures of it from the zoo. It went to
the wagon wheel.
The wagon wheel, the pictures of it there, and, of course, pictures and videos of it. So we've got stellar provenance for this train. If you're looking for a train around your business, your estate, or just a fun train, we've got that.
And there's about a half a mile track that goes with it, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And a nice little roller coaster.
It's called the Little Dipper by Alan Herschel, a roller coaster. That was our kiddie coaster. We themed it as a runaway mine car coaster for those of you who remember it.
That was cute.
Yeah, we also have a carousel, a beautiful carousel.
We do have a nice carousel, I have to say. We went up to where? Boston to
Boston
pick that up.
From an apple orchard that was going out of business, yeah.
And speaking of going to Boston to pick up that, we're looking for rides all the time.
Yep.
And we don't mind traveling for them.
There's a market for it, yeah. Whether they be restorable as rides or in parts, because a lot of times, like bumper cars and carousel horses and such like that.
Ferris wheel seats.
Yeah,
any
of that has value. I mean, we've bought out old amusement, traveling amusement companies that have, with their rides were laying in barns, and we've bought those in the past, and we'll auction those off for you. We'll buy them outright or auction them.
Absolutely. And, a lot of times the old carnivals still had a lot of old gambling equipment. So we're always looking for carnival items and things gambling
like
equipment.
Big 6 wheels and dice cages and things like that. So
yeah, you name it.
It's out there yet laying in storage.
So you have to give us a call.
At 815-923-7000 or email us at donleyauctions@outlook.com. You can send pictures to us. You talk to the girls in the office. Lillian usually handles all of our –
And Eileen.
Eileen handle all of our leads. And they'll take your number and get it to Randy and I so we can call you and discuss what you have here.
Yep. So, Mike, we're always short on time. It goes way too fast, and here it is. So I guess until next week
well, I'd like to thank Keith Conrad, our producer for the show. He always does a great job of putting it together for us. And
until next week,
I'm Mike.
And I'm Randy Donley. And we'll see you at the auctions.
Thanks for listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Check out all the latest information on upcoming auctions and collectibles at DonleyAuctions.com. And while you're there, you can contact someone about buying or selling your collectibles or estates. That's DonleyAuctions.com.